Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, everybody. Looks like we still got that weird camera like focus breathing that was going on last week. Maybe I fixed it. It's kind of working. Ordered another camera, um, which I'm excited about, and it should help with some of the quality that we've been seeing in the videos and the live streams. Oh my God! Good morning, Alan is here. What a great day to start the week, or what a great way to start the week. That too. Ashland and coffee. I'm doing it. Oh, gotta have it. Chris is here. What's up, Chris? Alex, good morning. Chris says, how's your Herbie oriented when in your back pocket? Mine's in the back left pocket, upside down. Upside down. As the top part of the wallet is a bit thinner. Curious to how I wear it. I wear it in the back, my right, and my butt is on this side, and then the face is that way. So I guess you can kind of see how it's like arched with my bottom. Still digging this new shrunken bison leather, by the way. This is another one of those wallets that, as I take it out to pay for stuff, people are really excited about how it looks. Good question. I would be surprised. I guess upside down works. I mean, there's not really much to fall out of here, so I guess that could work too. Interesting. That's actually really interesting because I guess you're right. As you sit, you would want the thinner part farther underneath you, and then thicker towards the top. That's kind of an interesting idea, Chris. Good morning, Jeff D. Happy Monday. PRP2 is here. Joseph's here. Good morning. And hello from Russia. I can't read Cyrillic, but so glad that you're here from Russia. That's incredible, man. So today we've got actually last Friday we announced we dropped some irregular wallets, and I didn't do like a preview video of those, but I wanted to show you a little bit of some of the stuff that we're going to ship out in regards to those, including some shell belts that were irregulars from the first batch of shell cordovan belts that we did. February, I think was when we first did those. So there's a color 4 belt that you can see down here, along with a couple other irregulars. And then we got a bunch of stuff that's been ordered over the weekend that I'm really excited to show you. So let's flip over the camera. I'll walk over there in my awkward fashion, moving this microphone and knocking everything along the way. And we'll take a look there. And then if you have any questions, please leave a comment or a question in the chat. And then after we look at these, I'll go through some questions. It'll be good to talk to you guys. Before I forget, there's a new Full Grain podcast episode up right now. It's with the the fourth generation for Buckle Guy, Hugh Harris. So check out the new Full Grain episode that just dropped this morning. I'm knocking out my headphones so I can't hear things. Hold on. There we go. Oh my God. BFET's here. Who else is here? Neil's here. Oh my God. Neil and Jaron, AKS Minster. Good morning, guys. Let's flip it over. Let's take a look at some wallets, some belts, some irregulars. And we got the new podcast. Don't forget to check that out. I really enjoyed speaking with Hugh Harris. It's like a really natural conversation. That guy's great. Okay. The video for Full Grain Podcast will come out later tonight, also on the YouTube channel. So stay tuned there. Okay, let's skim through some of the irregulars. There were, not including multiple sizes and multiple items, I think we had about 60 something irregular items that we put up on the website last Friday, and I think most of them have sold by now. There's a couple notable pieces that I wanted to show right now. So we got a vertical card slot Bugs brand. All of the irregular items are discounted for cosmetic inconsistencies. So something like scuffs and scratches that we weren't able to remove. Looking at this one, I don't recall why this was irregular. Oh, there's like a little scratch kind of thing down there. Very small stuff. So it's usually a pretty decent deal. Here's another one. This is sometimes, it's pretty rare to see, but more of like the private stock type of stuff ending up in the irregulars. This is a tumbled shell cordovan on the outside here with a reverse interior for 2 of the card holders. We got more tumbled on the inside. Somebody picked this one up also, and this is a winner. Pretty awesome to be able to get a private stock piece at a discount. I'm trying to keep them separated here, keep organized so I don't mix these into our normal stuff that we're trying to ship out. Here's some more stuff, more irregulars, but these are kind of different because this is our brand new wallet design, the Joe Batters. And you might find this is a familiar looking piece because these three that I'm pulling to show you, these are all the photo samples that we did for the original Joe Batters. And you might ask why they're irregular, and they're very small. This one I think was actually used a tiny bit. I think I was trying this one out, and that's why it's irregular. But I have this one to show you the difference for what makes these other ones irregular. So take a look here. On the outside quick access card holders, here and here, you'll notice the stitching is a little bit lower on this piece when compared to the blue piece. So there are 2 more stitches that are intended for this design, which is why we irregulared them. Now I used one of these to make sure it works fine, and it does. Part of the problem that happens is this little ear tends to want to flap up like that sometimes. So that's the only thing that made these Joe Batters irregular. So we had the royal blue cypress, which is that brand new leather. Somebody was just emailing me telling me there's some new boots that people are making in the cypress that look great. And then we have the English tan Dublin here and a shell cordovan piece. So this is color 8 shell cordovan. I wanted to show you this one just because of how nice, despite my smudgy fingerprints on it, just how nice the color 8 shell piece looks with all those hand stained edges. Really, really cool. We should have stitched these down a little farther as well, which is again why that was irregular. And then let's look at the color 4 shell belt here. Now these are really special, and we released the natural shell belt last month. We've just started production on those after we closed the pre-order window. But the first color that we offered on shell belts was this guy here, color 4 shell cordovan. And it's really, really special. It's impossible to make a single piece of shell cordovan, an entire length of a belt on a normal piece of shell. Now, there are rare occasions when you can find shells that continue all across the backside of the animal, and those tend to happen in mules and donkeys. But the leather tanning industry does not tend to receive as many of those hides because those animals aren't raised for meat. They're more like work animals. So we've taken the horse shells and have turned it into a 3-piece belt. So you can see the seams that we've done there. And then we've made this in the style that Horween shell cordovan was originally made for. It was originally made for razor strops. And they had these 2 thick pieces of leather. You might be able to notice this belt. And everybody that has one of these belts will immediately notice how substantial the thickness is. They're really awesome feeling. They're really tough. But the 2 pieces of leather here are the same 2 pieces of leather that were used in razor strops back when Horween started in 1905. And they would use the shell side to hone the blade of straight razors to shave your face. And they would use the strip side on the back here. This is a horse butt strip. They would use this to sharpen the blade. So in theory, you could hang this guy up on the wall and start shaving your face with a nice sharp razor. So we did have a couple of these guys. This one doesn't have the size labeled on it. We had a couple of these in the regular sale. So these were a surprise, and I'm glad. I think people picked them up. It's a pretty sweet deal for all the irregular stuff. And I don't know when we're going to do the next regular sale. Hopefully never, because that means we're making stuff not up to par. But again, like if you are interested in a wallet or a leather that you wanted to try and you didn't want to pay full price, the irregulars are usually a pretty good deal because when you wear the stuff, it tends to get those blemishes anyways. But it's just cosmetic stuff. So I just don't have it in me to like sell it for full price. So we discount them. It looks like, okay. Let's start off with the other stuff. So we got more things that are shipping out that have been ordered over the weekend. And I think this is fun to do because normally I was putting up videos that were just of the crazy stuff. I think our regular stuff is also very nice. Let's lead it off with some personalized items. So speaking of very nice, this is the brand new Royal Blue Cypress. This one has been personalized for CDR. This is our most popular wallet style, Johnny the Fox, that has the very common traditional card layout on the inside, 3 cards on the left, 3 on the right, and then there's hidden slots underneath with a bill slot in the back. And there's something really great about this consistent look of the Royal Blue Cypress on the outside that continues on through the inside. We also have the blue edges, which we did not have to apply any stain to. because the cypress that Horween is tanning for us is drum dyed. That means the color has gone all the way through the substance of the leather, including into the backside. So if you open up the bill slot, you'll notice it's all blue as well. So super, super clean look on the royal blue cypress. We have all the other royal blue cypress pieces like the Capones and the Bugs Moran. Those also turn out great. Here's a black Dublin Johnny the Fox, and this one has also been personalized. Let me fumble through it for GBC, and the inside of this one is not Dublin. It looks pretty similar, but the inside is actually horsehide Latigo, and we do that to make it a little bit thinner. Now, the horse hides are naturally thinner than steer hides, which is what we're using on the outside, and all the layers of leather require a little bit of a thinner hide to start with for the inside, because we have all these different layers of card holders. It just sits better as using the horse hides on the inside. So it's horsehide Latigo on the inside, black Dublin on the outside. Thanks so much, GBC. And one more personalized piece to show you right now. This is the brown cypress. So same leather tannage, same finishing as the royal blue, but just a different color. This one has been personalized for Isaac. You get that really nice brown cypress. You can see it's started to crease a little bit as we laid it down on our personalization process. So you will see how this undertone appears in sort of these crease marks. And then inside those card holders on the Tony the Ant. Now, this wallet is often best compared to something like the Bugs Moran or the Fat Herbie. So let's look at those next. That's a Herbie. And Bugs Moran. Okay. So here's the linear storytelling for how the Tony the Ant came about. It started with Fat Herbie. This is a little bit larger of a wallet than most people are familiar with. It's about the size of a passport. I like this one because I wear my wallet in my back pocket. I find it to be the most comfortable back pocket wallet around. It just lays thinner because of the unique card layout on the inside. It has this unique bill slot on the outside with a thumb notch. So there's not a lot of wallets with bill slots on the exterior. That's what makes this guy a little bit unique. And when we first started out, people really liked this aesthetic, the look of this wallet, but they wanted it a little bit smaller. And that's how Tony the Ant came about. You can see the Tony the Ant slightly smaller here. Now, originally, the Tony the Ant was even smaller than that. It was actually the size of the Bugs Moran. It used to be slightly less long, but we increased the length on it to more easily accommodate cash in the outside here. Now, there's a zero-sum balance between cards and cash on this wallet. If you put a ton of cash in, it's going to be more difficult to use cards on the inside. And if you put a ton of cards on the inside, it's going to be more difficult to put cash on the outside. So it's sort of a minimalist wallet. You can load it up. It just makes it a little bit more difficult to get stuff in and out of. And then the Bugs Moran, more minimalist, no card slot on the outside. And then we shrunk down the size. If you look at the inside gap between these card holders, you'll see that it's slightly smaller on the Bugs Moran. We wanted this wallet to be as minimalist as possible, but still very, very functional. So this is a great, just like simple card holder, no bill slots, lays flat, put it in your front pocket, put it in your back pocket. We envision more of a back pocket wallet for that guy. Now let's leave the Herbie on the table here because we have another wallet that's new. That's very similar to the Fat Herbie. So Fat Herbie here, natural shell cordovan. This is the color I suggest to people that want something that's going to develop a really beautiful patina. It gets darker and more golden brown. We also have this guy here. Now this is our traveler passport holder that is very, very similar to the Herbie. You'll see it has that same bill slot on the outside, has the same card holders on the left, but it has this larger open pocket on the right that will fit a passport inside of it. The other big difference is that the traveler passport holder is a little bit taller. So if you look at these, if I stack the Herbie on top of the Traveler, you'll see it's just very slightly taller, like a 1/4 inch taller. And again, we did that to more easily fit a passport inside of here. So sometimes when I'm looking at these on the outside, I mistake it for a Fat Herbie, but Traveler passport holder is designed to hold all the world's paper currency as well as a passport. So I think it's a good option if you're trying to, get around the world. Hence the name Traveler. All right. A couple more Bugs Moran. This is a vertical card slot Bugs Moran. We had the Irregular earlier, but this one is our premium. Just like a normal stuff, not irregular. Regular, maybe we just call it regular. We also have the brown Cypress with the vertical card slots on the inside. Here's another Cypress piece. Let's compare those two. This is the same exact tannage, same exact components, just the only difference between these two leathers are the stains that have been applied. So royal blue cypress on our traditional card slot bugs right here. And we've got a natural shell cordovan bugs also. By the way, all these are things that were, I think some of these are already finished, but all of these are things that have been ordered over the weekend. So if you ordered something, you're probably seeing your wallet right now, which is very exciting. Here's our most popular leather right now. This is the English Tan Dublin. This one has really interesting striations on the outside in the grain there. Very interesting character on the Dublin. This is a little bit more dramatic than most pieces. Oftentimes it's a little bit flatter. Let's take a look at this English Tan Herbie. Yeah, this is a little bit more common here with that flatter grain appearance. Still very, very grainy and intense like hair holes in the grain here. But the figuring on this is a little bit less dramatic. And then one more Herbie to look at in the classic color number 8 shell cordovan. In the camera here, this is appearing a little bit lighter than it appears in person. This is a dark brown with burgundy undertones. And I notice on this camera in particular, it really makes the color pop. It looks nice, but in person, it's slightly darker looking. Let's just give you a good sense of that range of color. And this right here, what we're seeing, that directionality of color in the shell, is why I started doing videos instead of just photos for these leathers, is because you can't really take a single photo to represent the entire color range in even something like the darker color 8. Very, very beautiful. I also am really enjoying how our team is hand staining and waxing and burnishing all the edges. Really great work that the team is doing. It's just creating a really clean product. All right, we got a couple other pieces. I think this is one of the last small zips that we have. We got to restock these, and I don't know when we'll have them again. English Tan Dublin on the outside. We have that same black horsehide latigo on the inside. This uses a premium Riri zipper. So give me a chance to shout out our buddy Hugh Harris from Buckle Guy. Check out the podcast we dropped this morning with Hugh. I buy or source my Riri zippers from them. And he doesn't really talk about Riri too much in the episode, but strongly encourage you to listen to what he had to say. It's pretty cool to hear his 4 generations history of, doing leather and hardware. It's pretty neat. Here's another natural shell cordovan piece, Frank the Enforcer. Really minimalist piece here, so good for front pockets. This top card slot here is the largest of the 1, 2, 3, 4 card slots, and this will fit US dollars folded in half. Now, the 2-shot card case here is exactly like it sounds. We've got 2 card holders, one that is larger in the top, and then one with a thumb notch on the bottom. Now, this one will not fit, completely fit US dollars inside of it. You'll have to fold those into thirds to fit it in there. We've got a vault key holder, also an English Tan Dublin. Let's pull out some Capone money clips. It looks like we got a private stock piece with the, I believe this is magenta shell cordovan on marbled blue shell cordovan. Magenta on the inside, and then the gold clip. Beautiful. A couple more Capones. Black shell cordovan, English Tan Dublin, natural shell cordovan. Nice looking pieces. And then some foxes. Let's go through these. This one is black Dublin. It's a very, very smooth piece of black Dublin here with minimal figuring. And again, they're all very, very random. Here's the black latigo on the inside. Another royal blue cypress. I think this is the first fox we looked at today. This one does not have the personalization on it, so you can get a sense of how clean that looks. This is our most popular wallet. We're actually running out of this too. 100% English Tan Dublin. And the last wallet, and then we'll look at some belts. Black shell cordovan with a reverse interior, and you will notice on the black with reverse, we do a natural waxed and burnished edge as opposed to applying the stains to the edges of this wallet. So the inside is where I think this one really shines. And it's not for everybody. The reverse interiors are totally random, and all of them are very, very unique. So you're never going to see 2 alike with the reverse side of the black shells. The way that this is happening is as they produce the stain coat on the shell side of the leather here, on the back side of the leather, it tends to be a little bit more green, and it sometimes can accumulate some stains that were left on the finishing table. And that's what you're seeing here. A really unique piece. Now we also have some belts that, if you look behind me, we've got a bunch of belts. It was a challenge to get leather for a long time. The thicker leather that is required to make our unlined chrome excel belts. So this one's a 34. Just as an example piece here. So they were tough to make. So we stocked up on leather, bought a lot of different leather. and figured if we bought the leather, we might as well make it into the products. So we made some larger batches of belts, including natural Chrome XL, brown Chrome XL, color 8. We've got black, navy, and then English tan Dublin. So I find our unlined belts to be very, very comfortable. The natural Chrome XL here is the most popular color, followed by brown Chrome XL and English tan Dublin. I want to show you the English tan Dublin here because I love the grain on this leather. I find this orangey tan to go very well with jeans, for example. And we do have a brown here. Here's some brown Chrome XL. Size 38 for this guy. And then the last item is a black Chrome XL. We can talk about T-Core for a second. So Chrome XL, most of it, especially the heavyweights, are not drummed out at all. It's what's called as a natural back or natural crust. So they take this natural color that you can see on the back and they cross section of the leather and they stain black onto the grain, creating this like two-tone open face sandwich kind of idea. So when the black finish is abraded and scuffed and scratched, it will reveal some of the lighter tones underneath. So something like a pair of boots look really great once they've been worn in like that and then scuffed and polished. That it's become a little bit more popular of a term these days called T-Core, which is what that concept's all about. All right, let's flip it back over. Let's see if we can get some focus breathing here for you guys to enjoy. Like I said, I got a new camera, so when it gets here, hopefully I can upgrade our streams even further. If you look back at earlier this year where I started doing the live streams, you'll notice that the quality has gone up little by little. So I'm trying to do more, like a little bit every day just to get a little bit better. And it's because of your feedback. So if you guys have any feedback for me regarding the videos, topics, things that we could do in live streams, I'm open to it. This is all for you. Okay. I see you guys chatting. Now would be a really good time to drop your questions into the chat. And while you do that, I'm going to thank everybody. Everybody might be a little bit long of me speaking here, but I'm going to thank people that picked up something from the site over the weekend here and through the Irregulars on Friday. So thanks so much to Evan F., James R., Carrie H., Sebastian T., JS, Jack D, Cindy L, Eder C, Arjun P, Charles M, David G, Morton W, Miles B, Isaac P, Jacob L, Jose P, Michael D, Randy C, John T, Hunter G, Assam H, Kai T, Dylan M, Matthew H, Matan M, Gordon F, Trenton B, Brett K, Lars B, Stephen B, Andrew M, William B, Michael S, Philip L, Marco V, Jason L, Connor V, Neil D, Angela S, Paolo R, George C, Justin V, Rodney F, Leo K, Hyun C, Justin G, Marco S, Christina M. You guys are great. I'm going to keep it going. We got more people I need to find a list of. Don't forget to drop your questions into the chat. Very important. And more thanks is appropriate to send to Alex G, David P, Scott O, Ray L, JW, Alvaro B, Shane R, Fady G, Jonathan M, Tucker L, Mauricio T, James T, Charles F, Alvaro B, Chris Y, Simon K, Jody H, Brian S, Ray K, Adam P, Leon S, Kyle M, Matthew S, Hector S, Reed C, Jonathan H, Andrew L, Sean G. Sean G, by the way, good to chat with you. We're going to consolidate your orders. Dennis P, James A, Newton C, Tom A, Christopher C, John V, Christian B, Mark M, Andrew L, Ismail M, Enrique B, Jordan S, Zachary G, Nick P, Robert Z, Ivan S, Greg V, Kevin B. I'm trying so hard to not dox people. I just want to read your name. I just have to keep it to the initials. All right, Zachary W, Jacob S, Gabriel S, Richard S, J K, Paul F, Michael M, Alex A, Terrence C, Tori K, Daniel P, Edward L, Pascal F, Michael T, Peter T, Mike B, David F, Tucker L, Bennett R, TJ R, Aiden V, Kevin B, Amy B, TJ R, again, Sandra A, and Juan C. Oh my God, thank you guys so much. And thank you guys in the live chat here. All right, let's see what you guys are chatting about. See if I can help answer any questions. We got an Ash hat for life in here. What's up, BFAT? Mr. Chop Top is here. Good morning. Doug K. I almost called you David. You're not David. Good morning, Doug. I don't know why I keep saying David. Hope you're doing well. Leon S is here. Jeff D says, Phil, curious if you or someone else who's the quality control decision maker that determines if a piece needs to be tagged as an irregular. That's a really good question, Jeff. The answer is yes, I am. And the team as a whole, everybody is capable of determining if something is irregular at any point in our process. So we don't really call it this in the shop. It's more of like just doing the right thing. I think Toyota pioneered this decades ago called total quality management, where they would take their chain of events and everybody along every link of that chain had the ability to reject something. And we do the same thing here, but usually it's more of like, hey, let's see, I just want to give you a heads up on this. Like, this thing is a little thicker, therefore you might need to do some additional work. It's a lot of just like communication, and we can do that because we're a smaller shop. But when it comes to making something irregular, it's kind of tough because how do I say this? We see a lot of wallets and we see a lot of leather. And if you look at any one of our products, you will find something very, very small on it that is not 100% like flawless perfect, every single piece. And that's because there's natural variations on the leather, which tends to be most of the variation that we see. And then with the stitching, it's usually really good. Sometimes we'll do like little weird things on edge finishing if the leather acts in a funky way. But really for me is if I pick up a piece and I look at it, I need to know immediately whether it's good or not. So there's a book called Blink that I somewhat subscribe to the philosophy of, where like you should be able to tell within seconds if something is authentic and correct. So if I have to look for it for more than 10 seconds, it's probably fine. But the end of the day, if there are extra holes, like we stitched too far on something, there are certain things that, or we didn't stitch enough, like on those capones, but the wallet still functions, I will sell it to you, but we would just discount it. So everybody is capable of QCing here. Honestly, I defer to my team on most of that, to judge whether something's good or not. But I will find stuff myself too. Hopefully that makes sense. That's a lot of words. But we don't have like a QC department. It's like everybody's QC. Good question, Jeff D. PRP2 says the other private stock Herbie, marbled, black, and emerald snuck up there last week. Had to snag it. Any thoughts on doing any mystery box again, like you did with Makers United? I have thought about that, PRP2. And by the way, I'm glad you picked up that. That was a really sweet wallet. Sometimes people will return private stock stuff, or like if I made a mistake and never listed it, which has happened, and we go, oh man, we forgot to put this on the site. Why is it still here? We will add those back. And sometimes those are like really cool private stock things that just randomly appear on their own. So I'm glad you got that. If you listen to the podcast I did last week with Portland Leather Goods, he talks about how successful their mystery boxes are. And I commented that, oh man, I've been doing mystery boxes longer than you. The thing about mystery boxes is we need time to actually craft all those products. And at the moment, like we are not necessarily keeping up with the normal non-mystery box products that we're trying to make. It's a challenge for us to keep our regular stuff in stock. I would imagine if we could beyond what people are demanding from us, that we could do mystery boxes again. It's something I do think about, but I don't want to phone it in. Like I'd prefer to do like something really exciting if we do mystery boxes. And what we've done in the past, like I'm torn on mystery boxes because I think it's fun. It's a good way for us to like sell products that maybe you wouldn't normally pick up. But people in the past, like we always felt like we were being really generous. We would try to double the value of the box and put inside the box. So, if you bought $100 mystery box, we would try to put $200 plus of product inside of there. And sometimes there would be feedback of people being very upset with their boxes. So I don't want to make people upset. It feels more like, hey, why don't we just put up these things as, if it's something funky and unique, just put it up as private stock. Or if it's something that's just not quite right, put it up as an irregular and let people choose instead of sending them something they might not like. But I don't know. I go back and forth on that. But the long story short is we just don't have enough product to sell. We can't make it fast enough. So it's possible we'll do it again. I just don't know when. Chase. Good morning, Chase. Any plans on making belts for women? We've had a couple people, including a larger company, ask us to make some more narrow belts. Right now we do 1.5 inch wide belts. And I thought about it. It's not something I want to do right now, but we could do a narrow belt. I think if a woman were to want a belt from us, it'd probably be in our style anyways, which tends to be a little bit more rugged, which makes me feel like, the 1.5 inch belts that we're already doing might be kind of awesome too for women. So that's probably really illuminating on like how much I don't understand women. But I think like if you're going to wear like things in the style of Ashland, it's probably not like a very, how do I call it? Our stuff tends to be like very heritage and kind of rugged. So I think women can wear it. It just, maybe we do need a little bit more of a narrow belt in our same style. We could do that. But at the moment, no plans for the, like specifically saying like, this is a woman's belt. That's a good question though. Neil Dorrington. Good morning, my friend. Says, hi, Phil. When will you be getting some more raw natural shell in? I think we just, I'm thinking of raw denim. I don't know. We can get it. I just don't know how long. So Neil, the best way, like if you're looking for something in raw natural that you want, just send over a message to my brother Matt. And the best thing to do, like selfishly for us, is to get an order on the books, because then we will like expedite that leather order to the tannery. But we've got that leather on order for a long time. The cordovan we order years ahead of time. So it's more of like we have a relationship with Skip now where we can say like, hey, I know I have an order for color 8 shell, but could you please, instead of using color 8, can we have like a small allocation of raw natural instead for this current run? And then they'll just take our allocation of color 8 and use it for raw natural. So we can sort of shift our orders around with them. But I'd be surprised if we're completely out of raw natural. If Matt told you we're out, then we're probably out, but we can get more. Ben D, favorite guilty pleasure food spot in Chicago that's under the radar. Wow. Okay. First thing that comes to mind is a date night I went on with my wife a couple weeks ago. It's old school. I have a caveat in here, which is like, it wasn't like some of the greatest food was, it wasn't incredible food, but the atmosphere and the vibe and the fun we had was 110%. So check out a place called Chicago Pizza and Oven Grinder Company, which is like, again, like super old school. Nothing's changed there. And I think it's been 50 years. And they serve these like pizza pot pies, which were okay. It's like, okay. It's like an inverted pizza, which is kind of fun. So it's like a fun idea. And then my wife like went crazy for their salads. They had this like really, really good like flatbread thing. And then we just had beers, and it was like met strangers and talked to people. I met somebody that knew Bugs Moran. It was like Bugs Moran's granddaughter was there out of nowhere. I heard her talking about Bugs Moran and met some friends. So it was just like a cool old school, like underground kind of Chicago place, but maybe not the best food. It wasn't the pizza in their name wasn't the best pizza I had, but everything else was really great. All right, I'm feeling good about that suggestion now. Curtis B says ordered an all reverse black shell Capone back on April 20th, 420, and have been watching avidly to hopefully see it on here. What? Oh, so like a made to order. I'll look into that for you. Yeah, you know what? I haven't seen made to order stuff in a bit. There's probably a batch of stuff ready to go. So if there is, I will do a video this week on made to order stuff, and hopefully yours is in there. So the timeline's about right. We normally take about a month to get made to order stuff if we have the leather. And thanks for your support, Curtis. I think you're going to love that wallet. I think people underestimate how awesome reverse shell is at developing patina. It ages in the same way that like natural shell does. It's really beautiful. Wes F, good morning, Phil. You're making some great stuff on these private stocks. Keep it up. I'm not making it. Well, some, but it's mostly the team here. Incredible team they can all hear you guys right now. You guys are incredible. There's been some really amazing stuff that they're coming up with, and we've got more stuff coming soon that's equally pushing the boundaries. You know, it's, again, in the same way that reverse cordovan isn't for everybody, we understand that, like, last time we did private stock, the headliner of, like, textured green shell with yellow accents may not be for everybody, but it sure is cool and different. And that's what we're into, is cool and different. So, you know, it's awesome that people buy and support us. It helps us continue on, but there's also a value for us just put that in the world to make a nice photo of, or put it in a video just so it like exists. I think a lot of the value of private stock is not monetary for me. It's like having fun with it and like just trying stuff. It's really, really cool. And thanks for the kind words, Wes. Good to see you. Jeff D says, along the same QC lines, are there times that imperfections in the hide require to be an irregular before you even start the build process? Usually we'll avoid cutting. So to answer that question, we should not cut it if it's not saleable. So if there's like a big open cut, we won't ship it. Now, sometimes it happens more frequently in like a shoemaker. We're not a shoemaker. But sometimes these imperfections in the skin don't start to become as obvious until you start working with it. So there might be like little bits of like rot or something in the skin. And once you flex it, you really see it. But if it's not flexed, you don't see it. So if you're sitting there and you go, I've got to make 50 wallets, and you just start cutting out all your pattern pieces out of the hide, you might miss a little something, which is fine. And then instead of throwing it out, and if it makes sense to, we will continue to make it and then sell it as an irregular item. But honestly, most times we just cut around it. The stuff we buy from Horween is nice. That's a good question, though. But in every hide, like every hide is different too. So there is a bit of an art. It takes a lot of discretion to be able to cut, which is why Dan, who works at Horween as their QC guy, cuts all our stuff. So we have like the absolute best person to cut the leather, cutting your wallet. And even then, you will still miss stuff. So every hide's a little different. Like weights are a consideration, finish color. It's like really difficult. But you know, we're not trying to make something bad if we see it. So we'll avoid really nasty stuff if we see it, or any nasty stuff. We just don't cut it. I always lose my track of where the questions are. Someone else's initials are in your favorite kind of irregular. Leon. So that's I'm glad you said that. I had a couple people order those wallets that were already personalized and say, "Hey, can you change the monogram?" And the answer is no. Like it's already in there, and that's why it was so heavily discounted. Sometimes we'll get people that like I don't even know the examples, but they'll get it personalized and send it back to us. And instead of like fighting with them, we just refund it or like offer them some sort of discount. Then we end up with a wallet that's got somebody's name on it. Sometimes we put those into what we call as demo wallets. Like if somebody, like a loaner of a car, if your car breaks, you might need a car to use, and we'll send you one of those things just to get you by. But sometimes they're nice enough where it's like, man, we put all this work in this thing. Like, let's sell it for half off, and just if people want it, they can have it. So yeah, like there were more than ever the most amount of like personalized wallets that were already up on there, and some of them were like subtle enough to be fine. Like there was one that was like -IW dash, which like I would have worn. That's fine. Then there was others that would have like Phil Callis on it, and you're like, I don't, I don't know if that, like I can really get by on that. So that the Irregulars this time we had those. Someone else's initials. Sorry about that, Leon. Hugh says people over the age of 23 should never wear backwards hats. Grow up, bro. Thanks. No, you're right. I'm 22. So those 23-year-olds suck. Willie F says, I got my Johnny the Fox Color 8 with raw interior. Absolutely love it. And glad it came across Ashland leather. That's awesome, man. Oh, yeah. BFET's, I'm actually 22, BFET. You can tell because I have no gray hair. Hugh says, I don't understand when looking like a bum because Cool Phil will look back at these videos in a few years and cringe. Probably, likely. Very high probability, actually. I look at these now and I cringe. Wes says maybe one day I'll get a psychedelic. The psychedelic stuff, I actually was just working with a customer on psychedelic. And those are tough for made to order. And like I get it because it's awesome. Every piece of psychedelic is so wildly different that we're never going to be able to get you like something that you've seen before. So you can order psychedelic from us, but you kind of have to like cross your fingers that you're going to get something you like. You can always return it if it's not used, but the psychedelic is so wildly random that we've been trying to just reserve those for things like private stock where you can see it and then go like, I like that. Here's my money. The other way around, like doesn't seem very fair to me, but there are people that insist like, I have to have psychedelic. Please make me a psychedelic something. So we'll do it, but it's a little tricky, right? Mike K says cutting clicking leather is an underappreciated skill. I think it's one of the most important things. I mean, it's the start of everything, right? There's so many things to consider: grain clarity, the thickness, the color range, what orientation the fibers are going in relation to the backbone. Like, is it going to stretch from the backbone down to the belly, or is it going to have a less stretch from the other way? There's a lot of things to consider in cutting. So you're right. I think it's very difficult. So when I see footwear brands or other leather maker brands that do a nice job clicking, I sort of give them like a little secret clap, because it's not, especially in the footwear stuff, it's very difficult to cut and click. BFET's got my back. Thanks, buddy. Bendy says, what's the lead time on a custom wallet, assuming materials are in stock? 4 weeks is what we're looking at right now. If you want to see my beautiful hair, here, this is what you've been missing out on. Is this less embarrassing? How's that? I got it like a tail now because I'm 22. Lead times are 4 weeks on most things. We try our best to get everything done. We like prioritize the made to order stuff every week. There is a price premium for that, which is why we prioritize it first. We also take your money in advance, so it's like a very sacred commitment that we have. But 4 weeks is generally what we're looking at. Sometimes it's like 6 weeks. Sometimes for things like watch straps, again, if we have the leather, we can do it more quickly. But generally speaking, about 4 weeks is where we're at. And you get a piece with my name on it. Mike K, thanks, man. That's nice. Wes says, that's why I want to wait to see all the... Yeah, I'm sorry, Wes. Like, the psychedelic thing, I could see being frustrated because you go like, I really want that thing. And I want to do it for you. So here, let me give you like just one more little tidbit about psychedelic. So the best thing to do is send us a photo and say like, I really like this purpley, green, magenta psychedelic look. Here's a photo of one I found that I really like. Anything you can get me that's sort of like this, I would really appreciate. And that's what we can work with. But we just need like a slight direction into that. And then if we have something, we'll tell you like, yeah, I think we got something we can work with. It's psychedelics and reverse and marbled and inverted shell are very difficult for us to sell because they're all random. So it's just like, hey, have a random. It's tricky. Leon says, been wanting the Tony, the Capone, and the Johnny Fox for almost 2 years. These irregulars were very Oh, did you get it? Nice. Yeah, try them out, man. And also, like, if you get those in, take a look at them. And you can look at all three. You certainly, maybe you do want to wear 3 wallets at once. A lot of people like to rotate the wallets or use some for certain occasions, like date nights. If you get those 3 wallets, just look at them and think about, like, okay, is this the size I like? And if there are any that you don't love or don't think you would wear, we can take them back or any of them back for a refund. So just know that too. Mike K says, Phil, video or podcast ideas. Why Chicago became a leather tannery hub many years ago. I'd love to hear you get into the details. I think it's because of the stockyards that were here, Mike. But that is a good... Nick is really into history, and I like Nick, so I'll do whatever he says. I think we might try to do some more history, leather-related podcasts. All right, Hugh's on a high horse. Yo, Hugh, I'm going to wear what I want to wear. I don't care. Don't fight with Pete over wearing pajamas. You know what, man? I would wear pajamas right now if I wanted to. And on that note, I appreciate you guys being here. Even Hugh. It's fun to chat with everybody. I don't take myself too seriously here. But I really appreciate everybody that supported us, picked up some cool wallets, some belts. We got more good stuff to come. I think these next couple weeks might be a little bit slow on like crazy events. We're going to try to stock up some of our regular products. But I really appreciate you guys. If you've ordered something over the weekend, you may have just seen it in the video, as long as it wasn't like made to order. It's probably your wallet we just looked at. All right, guys, I don't know when I'll be back. Hopefully I'll be back again tomorrow. And I appreciate you again being here. I hope you have a really great day. All right, see you guys.